Thank you for listening to Shulchanaruchharav.com.
Is it permitted to wear a wool clothing on top of linen, or vice versa, linen on top of wool? What constitutes the prohibition and transgression of the shatnez laws that prevents wool and linen from being together? Is a mere approximation of wool and linen material to each other already part of the prohibition? Or must they be connected and attached to a certain level for the prohibition of shatnez to apply? Some practical examples that may be relevant to this question are: may one wear a linen shirt on top of his wool tzitzis? Those who are accustomed to wear what's called a bindle, an elastic band over their tzitzis, may be made of linen or may contain linen strands. May one who has linen pajamas sleep with a wool blanket? May one wear linen pants that fold over wool socks and the like? Of so on and so forth of cases where one has one garment of wool and the other of linen, and they are being worn at the same time. So we have a clear ruling in the Rishonim, the Rambam, the Rosh, Bnei Yerucham, the Torah, and so is recorded in the Shulchanaruchharav of the Mechaber Yeridea, chapter 300, halacha 4, that there is no prohibition in wearing a wool shirt on top of a linen shirt or vice versa, as the prohibition of shatnez of wool and linen is only when the two items are attached to each other, and not when simply they touch each other by being one on top of the other. Nonetheless, despite this being the general rule, we do find in the Poskim a discussion and debate regarding what level of attachment deems the shatnez prohibition of wool and linen to be transgressed. What is the definition of attached? So we find several approaches. One approach is that it's not considered attached unless it's actually woven and sewn together and becomes like one garment. Even if one whole side is linen and the other whole side is wool, if they're sewn together at their ends, it's considered shatnez. However, if they have not been attached to this level, then it's not considered shatnez at all, and it's permitted to be worn one on top of the other without any restriction. According to this opinion, you can wear linen undergarments and put over it a wool pair of pants, or wear a linen elastic over a wool garment, or wear a belt over two garments, one of wool, one of linen, even though you are now, so to say, attaching them together through the belt. Since they haven't been sewed together, it is okay. However, not all poskim agree to this approach. The Torah records in the name of his father, the Rosh, that even if one doesn't sew or weave together the wool and linen, if one attaches the two garments to each other through tying them together, or through placing a belt or knot to tie them together in a permanent way, then it also transgresses the biblical prohibition. Furthermore, some poskim learn that even if one doesn't permanently attach them to each other, but simply wears the wool and linen garments in a way that one can't remove the lower garment without first removing the upper garment, then it's considered attached and is forbidden to be worn due to shatnez. So for example, they hold that it's forbidden to wear linen undergarments if you're then going to put over it wool pants, as it's impossible to remove the undergarments without first removing the pants. And it's as if that linen undergarment is stuck and attached with the wool pants, what's considered shatnez. So brings the Ramaz an opinion of his understanding of the Gos Ashri and other Rishonim. Practically, how do we rule? So the Achreinim, the Shach, the Levush, the Aruch HaShulchan, and others all write that practically the custom of Jewry, the world custom, is to be lenient like the former first approach and not consider it shatnez unless it's actually sewed or woven together, and simply being attached to each other or being unable to remove without removing the upper garment is not a suffice enough of an attachment to be considered prohibited. And thus practically, it is permitted to wear wool clothing on top of linen clothing or vice versa in all cases without restriction. You can even tie them together with a belt and wear a belt over them. And it's permitted to wear one over the other even if the lower garment can't be removed without first removing the upper garment. Nonetheless, regarding these latter cases, it is proper, if one is able to be stringent and not do so, such as to wear linen undergarments and a wool pants over it, even though from the letter of the law and according to the worldly custom it is allowed to be done. Thus, according to all this, let us now summarize the following cases. May one sleep with a linen blanket over his wool pajamas or vice versa? And the answer is, this is permitted to be done according to all approaches and all opinions, as they're not attached to each other at all. They simply touch each other, and it's possible to remove one without removing the other. You can remove your blanket without removing your pajamas. You can remove your pajamas under your blanket without removing the blanket. one wear linen pants over wool socks, the answer here as well is that it is permitted according to all, as they are not attached to each other in any way according to any one of the three approaches. May one wear a linen shirt over or under his wool tzitzis? The answer here is yes, as A, we rule practically, and so is the custom, that even if one can't be removed without the other, it's not considered an attachment, and here it is possible to remove one without the other, and therefore it's not considered attached according to any approach, and so on and so forth of cases of the like.
Thank you for listening to Shulchanaruchharav.com. Our free services of making Torah knowledge available to the public depends on donors like you. Please help us continue our work through making even a small contribution at Shulchanaruchharav.com under the Daily Halacha Dedication section or in the subscription page. Also, check out our online courses and many sefarim available for purchase that will both enhance your Torah knowledge and help support our work.